So, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, in this doom and gloom scenario that we are trying to paint, see that there's something in leadership known as situational leadership. When the situation is such that you're saying there's fiscal mismanagement, the private sector is not coming up, you don't see good projects, you have lots of money available. My point is that the banks should take hold of the leadership at this moment. You put together a management team, think of a good project, you have all the resources available, you're the most organized area of our economy at this moment. Think of a project, you know all the good managers of this country, put together a management team, finance that project, you will be very, very happy to do that because it's your own project. Create that catalyst in the economy and you will create jobs, you will create more revenue for the government and you will create lots of profit for yourself. So can you do that and jumpstart the economy?
I think it's a very good idea. In fact, when Mizan was originally set up, our business model actually included that we should operate companies ourselves. And I would really like to congratulate Engro Group on that, where they have taken professional management. I used to work with Exxon when it was old Exxon, and then the US shareholder disinvested, and which gave birth to Engro. And Engro has done a lot of projects, and I really feel that Yaqub is right as why bankers should not be able to do it. The only constraint there, which I'm sure is a small constraint, I think if the mindset is there, we can still overcome that, is the central bank, for the right reason, does not let banks invest more than 30% into equity of any single project. Now, personally, I feel that unless you have a 51% control, you would not be able to really get the project, and say that I'm managing the project instead of somebody else managing the project. So quite frankly, if today they allow us 51%, I'm sure Mizan would probably do what you're saying because, you have more comfort, you are on the driving seat then. But with 30%, we have a reluctance, but we have this in mind at Mizan Bank that, we should pursue this objective. So I think it's a very good suggestion. Maybe the banking industry should look at it. If maybe one bank can take 30%, maybe the other bank can take 21%, collectively do a 51% kind of a transaction. So I think thank you for that.
If you want to come in on this one.
I have a slightly different view. I think every part of the economy has a role to play. Yeah. The bankers are not entrepreneurs. And we have to make that distinction. If you try to force bankers to become entrepreneurs because they have money in the kitty, you're going to have a fair degree of failure, which will then become a problem. Yes, to the extent that you can participate in private equity, the banks have to create separate units, merchant banks or private equity units that have the right skill sets available who look at equity investments completely differently. And then work with the real entrepreneurs to provide them the capital from an equity point of view, and then perhaps with Chinese walls, lend them money also to support them. But for us to become experts in ostrich farming or milk production is just not possible. We're not geared towards that. We don't think as entrepreneurs. So I would say we should respect that line. We should support them through other mechanisms, but not become entrepreneurs ourselves.
All right, we have lots of questions. We have a lady down at the back here who has the microphone. I'm going to give her. We're coming right to you. The lady down the back, please stand up and let us know who you are and tell us who you want to direct your question to. And then I'm going to come right over here to you. Don't worry. Can't hear you, my dear. Right into that microphone. Pretend you're Madonna.
Okay. Right. My question is just related to your telco banking. You are relating to the banking with telecommunication. Our telecommunication got a lot of security lapses. How could you secure the banking sector if you are going to associate with that sector?
So the telecommunication has not been as secure as it should be. So how can you ensure?
That's more of a telecom problem than banking. Phone banking is coming. It's an upcoming field. But if you're talking of any security lapses in the technology, then I don't know whether you're talking about the telecom part or the banking part.
The telecom part.
No, I'm just asking you that sector is quite an insecure sector.
Insecure?
Insecure means there are lots of security lapses. We got hacking and all that stuff in that thing. how could you secure a person's monetary thing in if you are associating that banking with that telecommunication, or are you converting in branchless banking and associating with something like mobiles?
So it's just a general security. Thank you, ma'am. I mean, it's that lack of the fear of your banking being secure, and I mean, it happens around the world.
Generally, when such products come, I mean, you ensure that all those security measures are there. But I don't know if you're talking of any specific security lapses which we can discuss. But generally, of course, every product has to be watertight, especially when it comes to electronic banking and phone banking. I agree with you, whether it's a balance, it's a transfer of funds or what other products, you have to be very, very careful. But are you talking of any specific lapses?
You want to, yeah, I mean, I think
first of all, we have to accept, yes, security is a concern. When we do our surveys, the number one concern of people to take on this new technology is it secure? And you know, we have to ensure that the security measures are taken, and there are a whole host of ways in which you do that. The same concern started off with internet banking when internet banking first started. Today, we have secure means through which money is now handled on the internet. Same is in various other remittance products. The cards, for instance, also is open to fraud, but there are measures that banks take. And the same thing will happen for mobile financial services as well. Gradually, we will be able to gain better technology for security and gain the comfort and confidence of customers as well.
And later this afternoon, we have a fabulous session on cloud security. So putting it all up there in the cloud, and we have Mr. Cloud himself here with us, Nabil. So we'll talk to you later about it. You're not getting a pitch now. Next question.
Hello.
Sir. Whoever has the microphone has the next question. Come on, gentlemen. You know if you've got a mic in your hand.
Yes. I especially appreciate Mr. Atif Bajwa and Irfan Siddiqui for their services for boosting of industry sector in Pakistan. I really appreciate. And in view of shortage of power and high markup rate, the cash flows of industries are very tight in Pakistan. My question is that, is there any chance to reduction in pricing and markup rates?
No, I missed that, so I can't.
Looking for a reduction in markup rates to compensate for some of the other increases in costs that they're seeing. You want to answer that?
You see, any cost in your balance sheet has to be managed. You know, and we've seen companies in the same sector, industrial sector, whether it's in ginning or textile or wheat or dairy farming or anything. If the sponsors have the right intention, they would normally make it. So, you know, if the electricity is going higher, we have to pay for it. If the market is going higher, they have to pay for it, because, you know, banking has to be competitive. I mean, money would only be available to the banks if we can make a return by using it with the market, creating a return and giving a return to our shareholders, to our depositors. I think one thing which people have a very basic misconception in Pakistan is that banks are making a lot of money. The return on asset for the entire average banking sector is very close to 1%, right, Atif? 1.1, 1.2%. So that means, you know, we have a bigger spread, but in Pakistan generally the tendency is not to pay for a lot of facilities like LC opening, you know, making pay orders, online transfers, whatever it is, it all comes gratis. So as a result, that income which we make on the spread income get eroded by running the branch network, you know, and the other overheads, and it only leaves about, and obviously a lot of bad debts as well, and it leaves 1% margin for the bank. So if we reduce our rates generally by 1%, I think the entire banking sector would come to a break even. And obviously if they come to a break even, depositors will not give us the money, and our shareholders will also kick us out, and then we'll be sitting on the other side looking for a job. So that's the dilemma, unfortunately, in the banking sector.
They'll be looking for bankers.
So you know, you have to pay the bank's bill on time.
I have another gentleman here. Sir, please let us know who you are and direct your question.
Can you hear me? My name is Ijaz Rathore. I'm a practicing chartered accountant.